Hello, my name is Rick Almeida with Avaya Professional Services. This video will give a demonstration of the Avaya Mobile Activity Assistant from the perspective of the end user. Now throughout this demo, this application will be referred to as MAA. MAA is an intuitive, easy-to-use mobile client that provides the user with a prioritized list of messages, requests, alerts, and notifications, thus seamlessly incorporating text and voice as required. MAA leverages smartphone capabilities for faster and less disruptive communications. MAA provides a structured way of sending messages to the mobile task workers, such as doctors and nurses in the healthcare industry, with a context-appropriate response for quick and easy action with a single touch response to many requests. The sender can prioritize messages and can initiate text message sessions or request a callback or call a particular individual based on roles that match the customer's business requirements. The system logs all the messages and the related responses for providing a business workflow and a mechanism to track and analyze the data for the MAA administrators for either business optimization and compliance or regulatory compliance. The MAA system allows integration with a directory server containing users, their group assignments, and contact information. MAA will then authenticate the mobile user login and learns the user group's assignments. Let's get started with a demonstration. The end user must first perform some initial setup operations before using the client on his iPhone. These high-level tasks are: number 1, configuring the MAA client; number 2, configuring the Avaya Aura 1X Mobile SIP iOS client. Let's start with our SIP phone. We'll go ahead and tap on the Avaya 1X icon. You'll notice my SIP extension is currently offline. I'll go ahead and tap on the settings gear in the lower right-hand corner. You'll notice I have options for login, logout, SIP settings, dialing rules, and so on. We'll go ahead and tap on the SIP settings. This is where we'll enter in our information for the SIP domain as well as our SIP proxy server. Next, we'll go into the login, logout. You'll notice we have our extension and password already preloaded. I'll go ahead and tap in on the green login button, and we'll notice now we are logged into our SIP server. If I tap on the dial pad icon at the bottom, you'll notice my extension is indeed registered. Let's go ahead and tap on the iPhone home button to return to our screen. Next, we'll look at what's required for configuring the MAA server. We'll go ahead and tap on the settings icon at the bottom, scroll to the bottom. Notice I have an Avaya Mobile Activity Assistant application loaded, and this is where we'll input our information for the MAA server IP address as well as the port 8443, which is required for HTTPS. We'll go ahead and return to our settings, return to our main screen, and now we'll go ahead and log into our Mobile Activity Assistant. Upon login, you'll notice we come to the receive screen. If I tap on the glass button at the top, this will toggle my status between available and busy. And this information will be tracked by the server to notify others of the user's status. The system keeps track of 3 user states, either offline, offline and available, or online and busy. If I tap on the glass button and hold that for about 2 seconds, you'll notice I have the option to log out. Let's go ahead and continue with this demonstration. Notice that we have 3 devices, 2 iPhones and an iPad, each available to Francis, Sylvana, and Cheryl. Let's go ahead and log in on each of these devices. Okay, let's take a look at a typical call flow scenario. In this instance, Francis will select a request from the New tab, which includes the phone call option. Note that the system displays a list of request types that depend on group assignments assigned to the user name, along with the group permissions. Note that Francis is capable of selecting from a wide variety of requests, as the MAA administrator has assigned Francis to the following groups: the IV team, the surgical nursing team, the pharmacist team, the respiratory therapist team, and the hospitalist team. Remember that these groups and tasks were custom created by the MAA administrator through the management portal. It's important to note that the MAA administrator can also configure the labeled text that appears on the recipient's response screens. Let's go ahead and choose the task Patient Progress Check. Note the list is filtered to show valid users that are available to respond. The availability indicator currently shows 2 available resources. Let's choose Sylvana. Next, we'll edit the predefined message, remembering that these predefined messages are created by the MAA administrator. Next, we'll go ahead and click Done, tap Done. Once selected, the user's contact information is displayed. Note in the Action submenu, I can have the recipient contact myself directly, or I can have the recipient contact another source in an assigned group. For this example, we'll have the recipient contact a member of the nurse's surgical group. From the list of available resources, we'll choose Cheryl Cook. Next, tap on Cheryl's mobile number. Notice how now that Cheryl's extension now appears in the Action menu. We can also adjust the priority of this message. 3 options are available: very important, important, and normal. We can also adjust the due date. In this example, we'll select 5 minutes, tap Done, and now we'll go ahead and send this message. Once the request has been sent, it appears in the Sent screen so that responses can be tracked. So we'll go ahead and tap on the Sent screen for Francis. Notice if we tap on the item, we'll get a detailed view showing the responses from the recipient. Notice the various levels of feedback available to let you know the status of your request. Now you'll notice Savannah received a beep alert notifying her of the receipt of a very important message. She taps on the View button, and the recipient is presented with 3 options. Let's have Sylvana select the Will Call Soon option. Sylvana chooses not to respond at this time and then returns to her received screen. Notice that Francis in his Sent screen sees an hourglass, which gives him status as in progress. Okay, while we're waiting for Sylvana to respond, let's next create a text tag to Cheryl. We'll clear the message area, choose the Phrases button, which provides a user with a list of full and partial sentences to select. Note these are custom generated phrases that were created by the MAA administrator. In our case, we'll choose a simple message: breathing treatment needed. We'll go ahead and add in the room number. Tap Done. And we'll go ahead and leave the priority unchanged and send the text. Notice that we have a call button available if we would like to call Cheryl as well. Let's return to Francis's new screen, then his Sent screen. Now Cheryl will check her received message and can respond appropriately or have the option to call Francis as well. Cheryl will tap on the Phrases button and respond with busy, currently busy, be there in 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and add in the additional text. Send the message and return to Cheryl's receive screen. Notice the hourglass on Francis's sent screen as well as Cheryl's. Once Cheryl has completed the task, she can respond to Francis by selecting the request sent by Francis and tapping End, followed by the Done. Francis in return will see the status of his request now has a green check. He can go ahead and view the message details and tap Done to indicate completion. Now, Francis will check up on his patient progress check, and we see that the request to Silva has not been completed. Notice that the due date banner has changed to red, alerting the requester of a missed deadline. Francis views the details of this request and decides at this time to complete a manual escalation. By tapping on the missed call button, we are presented with three options: cancel, escalate it, and back. We'll choose to escalate this task to Cheryl and tap Done. In the action menu, we'll change the callback option to Silvana, who is signed to the surgical nursing group, and tap Send. Note that Silvana gets a status update with the red slash. Cheryl now receives the task and chooses to call back Silvana, and after the conversation taps End and completed. Now we'll go ahead and have Silvana tap End and indicate that this job is completed. Okay, next let's have Cheryl send an off-floor notification to Francis. Now we'll go to Francis's iPhone. Go ahead and notice he's received a new message. Click on the receive screen. Once Francis receives and reads the message, he has the option to acknowledge. And then when Cheryl reviews her status, she'll see the green check mark and also the acknowledgement. Now I've tried to give you a sample of several simple interactions, so let's take a quick look at the MAA Management Portal, which is used to administer and configure the MAA. We'll go ahead and open a web browser to access the portal and log in with the username and password. So let's do a quick overview. The main menu displays the options and the tables. The Global Settings page is used to create the phrases used when sending a request or notification. You'll notice there are three types of phrases: new phrases, completion phrases, and text phrases. The new phrases are used to create the messages. Completion phrases are used to aid the user in entering an optional note when closing or completing a request. And the text phrases are used in the text-chat interactions. Note, these are all customizable. You can add, edit, or delete as appropriate. Let's next take a look at the task template. The task template is used to create templates for sending requests, notifications, or messages. The default list of predefined templates are available and can be modified by the administrator. Let's take a look at a few. You'll notice there are 12 types of task templates: the acknowledgement, the action request, the group notification, the phone interaction, and the text interaction. Let's take a look at our patient progress check. You'll notice that each template can be modified for the message, the importance level, response due time, and the action button. A complete help description of the template is also included. Note that each template has one or more sets of permissions and is composed of a list of requester group and a list of responder groups. The requester group permissions define which users will see the template listed in the new tab of their client. The responder groups is a list of those groups, i.e. users that are assigned to the group. So all users assigned to the hospitalist group will have this template show up in the new screen, and recipients available to respond will be the users assigned to the responder group. This provides for confidentiality and prevents information from leaking between groups. Now, the history overview is used to view detailed information about notifications, requests, and interactions that are no longer active. The system will capture usage history in the log files. These log files can be viewed or downloaded. The groups overview is used to define available groups. Options are also available to assign users to specific groups. Users tracks MAA users along with their user ID, password, phone contact, and assigned group. Thank you for your time, and this completes the demonstration of the Avaya Mobile Activity Assistant. Any questions or comments should be directed to your local Avaya sales representative.